Hi everyone, just wanted to quickly make this video as you will have access now to Module 3 readings. Again, I open up the readings only for those of you who want to get started on those readings and start thinking about the discussions because you'll be able to see those as well. However, the discussions for all of this will not open until the 29th. So when you go into Module 3, you are going to see 4 topics. There's thinking about demonstrating mathematical behaviors part 1, which you do independently like you've done in Module 2 for all those topics. Then there's numeracy continued, which again you do independently like you did in all of Module 2 topics. You write your discussion post and you respond to at least one other person within your group. Then you're going to notice that there is professional learning community, building an inquiry play-based classroom part 1, and then professional learning community, building an inquiry play-based classroom professional learning community part 2. Part 1 is what you are, in part 1 you are creating a PowerPoint presentation in your group. And each group has about 4 to 5 participants. The main goal of the PowerPoint is what are the components that contribute to creating and building an effective kindergarten classroom. So really, in other words, what is the vision of an ideal kindergarten classroom? And below there is success criteria, and you'll want to make sure you have all of those topics within the success criteria of what you need in your PowerPoint presentation, and that is what you're going to divide up amongst your group members. So each of you will have 2 to 4 slides that you'll be creating. Now this has to be posted into the PLC Dropbox, which you will see is in the part 1 assignment. It says PLC Dropbox. Now this is really important. When your PowerPoint is done and you and your group have signed off this, we're good to go with this PowerPoint, you each must submit the PowerPoint into your own Dropbox submission. So that means that all of you will have the entire PowerPoint put together into one, and you're all submitting it within your group into your own Dropbox. Okay, that's really important. Secondly, you will be working in a group, in a discussion group, in your group, dividing this up and chatting about it. This way I can see how things are going. I can see who's participating in the discussion, who's broken up what, who's taken on what. Now, this has to be posted into Dropbox as a PowerPoint. However, in your group, if you guys discuss as a group to see if everyone has a Google account, you could be creating a Google Slides presentation together so that you're all collaborating together, and then you can save it as a PowerPoint. Just watch that when you save it as a PowerPoint, sometimes the text and pictures get kind of messed up, so I suggest once that's saved in PowerPoint, go through it one more time and make sure all of your pictures and text line up appropriately, and submit that into then the Dropbox, please. But that's just a way to think about to start collaborating with this piece. Again, email one another can happen, sending the PowerPoint back and forth. There's some creative ways you can do that, but I suggest starting that conversation within your discussion group. Now, for this particular assignment that OECTA has created, they didn't put in a discussion group within this assignment. So I've gone and created a discussion group for this assignment for you guys to be collaborating together and getting things going. However, because I'm not very tech savvy, I don't have it highlighted in red in the assignment. So what you need to do is you just go to the top of your website where you see course home, blog, chat, groups, checklists, class list, content, discussions, all those titles that you see at the top, and click on your discussions. And when you click on discussions, and you'll have access to this on October 29th, when you click on your discussions, you will see that you have a professional learning community, building an inquiry play-based classroom, part 1, and then whatever group you're in. Okay, so you might be in group 5, so then it'll say group 5. And then you start posting in that discussion post to get things going. Similarly to like what we had with the readings in module 1. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys negotiate who would like to take on what. If someone wants to take on literacy, someone else wants to take on numeracy, self-regulation, social skills, those things, everything that's built within the success criteria. Now also I want to make sure it's very clear that for part 2 is what I'm looking for whenever you're presenting. Are you participating in the discussion? Are you relating your own examples to what you're speaking to? And is it clear that you've collaboratively worked together? Because you're all going to come onto the Adobe Connect, and don't worry, I'll make sure that's set up and that there's step-by-step instructions to get onto that. That'll be fine. And I'll speak more to that later on, but that when you're on Adobe Connect and it's your group's turn to present, that the flow works, you guys know who has what slides, and you're ready to jump in and keep going with the presentation. Because we have 6 groups, and the presentations cannot last longer than 10 to 12 minutes. So each of you get 10 to 12 minutes, because we have from 7 to 9 with our Adobe Connect to get everyone through. I'm going to be putting some groups in between 7 to 8 slot, and if you're in the 7 to 8 slot, that's when you're presenting, and then when that slot is finished, all the groups within that slot are completed, you can then leave the Adobe Connect session, and then I'll have another chunk of groups that'll be presenting between 8 and 9, and I'll be posting on the newsfeed which group is presenting at what time. For those, if you're the 7 to 8, you are required to, if you're the 7 to 8 time slot, you are required to be on for that entire time slot for all of those groups. If you're from the 9 or the 8 to 9 time slot, you're expected to be on for all of those groups as well, to listen to the presentations, and for, of course, you to participate in your own presentation. So just to be really clear, for the building an inquiry play-based classroom, there's the part 1 where you're creating the presentation together within your group. For the part 2 is what I'm looking for within the presentation time, and to see what you guys are accomplishing together, that you're bringing in your own examples, and that you've met all the criteria. Okay, and there's success criteria for that as well. I hope I've made this clear. When I read it over, I could see how there is some confusion, but this is the way that I've worked it out that I think makes sense. I advise all of you to take an active role in this presentation piece. I know group work can be tricky, especially online, but the more we move forward, the more it looks like there's going to be more and more collaboration with people via online classrooms and different web pages and things like that. So just look at this as an opportunity to learn, to get your feet wet with this type of learning and with this type of collaboration. And I'm here to support you, but in order for this to be successful, everyone needs to participate and take on their own responsibility for what they would like to contribute to the collaboration piece and to the topics that you would like to cover within the presentation. I hope this provides some clarity. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me off an email. But with this, I'm here to support you guys the best I can, and that this, remember, it's a learning opportunity, and it's not going to be perfect. We're going to have some glitches along the way, but we're going to make this work, and it'll be a great learning experience, and as a result, you'll have a great presentation that you can share in a parent-teacher meet or a parent-teacher interview, meet the teacher night, kindergarten orientation evening. So I think this is going to be something that'll be really useful for you to have in the future in order to help demonstrate to colleagues and the parent community what is the kindergarten environment and what does it look like and what's happening there. I know this is a long video. I hope it was helpful. And we'll get more into this as we go to start on Module 3. But you'll be able to read things through now and get a sense of what to expect. And then on the 29th, when discussions open, you will have access to your group and you'll be able to start collaborating and dividing things up amongst yourselves. And really being open to having a few ideas that you'd like to tackle, just in case if you know there's some conflict, that you're open to a few different areas to investigate. I think that's everything. You'll be able to use resources you've read so far, and resources you have all investigated on your own to help bring this presentation to light and make it useful for you in your learning and for your kindergarten classroom. So thanks so much, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.